The peace marches in Baghdad are getting louder and more colourful. They marched to the British embassy this morning, setting the Iraqi tone that Saddam Hussein wants peace, but on his terms. Tariq Aziz will echo that hard line in Geneva, but told American television that he would open wider discussions if the US was willing.
If Mr. Baker shows willingness to conduct this meeting in a sincere, genuine, constructive manner, he will find me reciprocating in the same spirit. If he's going to threaten me, try to frighten, to scare me, that will be a massive destruction to Iraq. He should also take into consideration that it would be a massive destruction to the American lives as well.
Saddam Hussein's military machine has been geared to wage a prolonged war. 1 million men are under arms. They're prepared to use chemical weapons. Iraq stood against Iran for 8 years. That proved a stamina for war they're threatening to repeat. Brent Sadler, ITN, Baghdad.
He was on the front line in a Challenger tank today in the company of the Desert Rats, who at any moment after next week may be committed to the battle to win back Kuwait from Saddam Hussein. In the words of Mr. Major, we may invite you to forcibly remove him.
Saddam Hussein cannot win. We are trying to bring that point home to him so that we may settle this matter peaceably and he will go back into Iraq and leave Kuwait. We still hope that he will do that. If he doesn't, well, he knows what the consequences will be, and we will be looking to you and your colleagues in the forces out here to actually enforce those consequences. At the moment,
morale is said by the officers to be good, but there are grumbles. Was it perhaps the food which worried the troops?
No, the food was fine. I mean, there was a great deal of food, they said, is fine depending upon the cook.
There was also more fighting talk aimed at Saddam Hussein. Leaving part of Kuwait, said Mr. Major, would not be enough.
Partial withdrawal is not acceptable, and partial withdrawal will have to be followed by expulsion until it becomes a full withdrawal. There is no compromise on that.
John Major went on his way, apparently happy that British troops could fulfill his promise of victory in any war. So John Major has brought to the troops in the desert the same forceful message which he has delivered to the whole of this region. Partial withdrawal is not enough. Saddam Hussein has to get out of the whole of Kuwait. Peter Allen, ITN, Saudi Arabia.
In action in the biggest exercise using live ammunition since they arrived.
In the desert 200 miles north of the Saudi capital, preparations for war stepped up a pace. Neither the Prime Minister's visit nor last-minute attempts to find a peaceful settlement are allowed to interrupt the process of getting the British Army ready to play a leading role in any future conflict. This is the largest exercise staged by the British forces so far. 70 Challenger tanks of the 7th Armoured Brigade and around 4,000 troops involved in mock attacks on enemy positions using live ammunition. Perhaps most impressive of all, Giant Viper, a deadly hose packed with explosives, blasting a path through imaginary minefields. Is it an army that's ready for a war that could happen next week?
Oh, very much so. I mean, we've been ready for a long time now. We're just getting things absolutely put together and reaching a peak at the moment.
This exercise, on a grander scale than any staged before by British forces, is set to continue for 4 days. Its timing influenced not so much by the visit of a British Prime Minister to the desert, but by the UN ultimatum for Saddam Hussein to quit Kuwait.
Today, it's imaginary opposition, but these forces expect they will soon be pitted against an enemy that will be firing back.